Hello everyone. In the previous video we have seen what is an array, when to use it, how to declare it and how to initialize, and we have also seen it with an example program. In this class we will be learning about structures. If we have a group of values which are of the same type and also belongs to the same category, say for example, if we have marks of 5 different subjects, then instead of storing them as separate variables, we just collectively grouped them as one single variable, and we declared an array, we gave it a common name, and we access each individual element using a index, also called as an array subscript. So that is an array. So there we are grouping elements belonging to the same data type. What is a structure? So a structure is a collection of elements of different data types. Suppose we have to store students' details. Suppose I have to store all the details of a student. So what all details I will have to store is name, roll number, age, marks of 5 different subjects, average, grade, all these things we want to store. Suppose I have to store one student's details, then I'll create a main function in which I will store details of the student. Say for example, I will have name of the student stored separately, and then I will have grade of the student, and then I'll have roll number and say age, and marks of 5 subjects I will store. For that I will create an array marks of 5 subjects, and then I will have sum of all these marks, and I will also find the average marks. Okay, so like this I can store and write the instructions for reading values, do the calculation, and simply display the average and the grade for the student. This is for one student. I can store all these variables. Suppose I want to store details of 10 different students. In that case, I cannot declare 10 different names, 10 different grades, 10 roll numbers. So we cannot write them separately. Instead, it would always be better if I can group all the related values into one single entity. So I will have student 1. All details of student 1 will be stored together. All details of student 2 will be stored together. So this way if I am storing, then all the details related to one student can be stored together as one single entity, and all the memory locations are also going to be together. So they're all contiguously memory will be allocated for these things. The syntax for declaring a structure is as given here. We give struct keyword, name of the structure, we give open and close curly braces, end it with a semicolon. Here we give the list of variables. List of variables to be stored. Basically what all details you want to store about the student, all that you can give here. So let me write an example. So I am going to declare a structure for student details. Struct student. I will store roll number of the student, and then marks of 5 different subjects, and then sum of all these marks, and I will store average marks, and that is a float, and I will store the grade of the student, character variable grade, which is going to store grade of the student. I have closed it the curly braces and I have given a semicolon. So this is definition of the structure. So this is structure definition. We are not declaring the structure, we have defined the structure. So a structure is a user defined data type. So what is a structure? It is a user defined data type. I am defining a new data type here as per my requirement, right? So this is a user defined data type. Now every data type has some memory size requirement, right? When we declare variable of that type, memory should be allotted for it. Now for this, how much memory will be allotted? So size of this data type. Size of this data type is equal to sum of sizes required for all the variables. Sum of sizes of all variables. That is the size of a structure. Now let us see, again assuming it as a 32-bit compiler, let us see how much how many bytes are required for all these variables. For roll number, we know that int requires 2 bytes. So for roll number, we will require 2 bytes. Marks is an array of 5 elements, so we will require 10 bytes here. Sum will require 2 bytes. Okay. Float variable will require 4 bytes and character variable will require 1 byte. So what is the total here? This is 2 plus 10, 12 plus 2, 14. 14 plus 5 is 19 bytes. So 19 bytes are required for this particular data type that I have defined in this example. So if you put some more variables, then the number of bytes will increase. If you reduce 1 or 2 in this, number of bytes will decrease. So every structure will have its own size, and that size is equal to sum of all the variables, sum of sizes of all the variables defined inside this structure. Okay. So now this is data type definition, syntax for data type definition. Now I have defined the data type. Next I need to declare variable for this, right? So let us see how to declare a variable. Now variable declaration is same as your other variables. How do you declare a variable? You give the data type and then you give name of the variable, right? Very similar to that here also. I give name of the data type. Now name of the data type is struct with the name of the structure. Okay. So struct student. This completely is name of data type. Now I will create two variables S1 and S2. So this is two variables S1 and S2 are variables of structure type. I will also create an array of 10 elements. Just like other variables, see if I write int a, b and then marks 5. So what does this mean? A and b are normal int variables which requires 2 bytes each, and marks is an array of int type which will have 5 values of this type, right? 5 values of int type. Similarly here S1 and S2. S1 and S2, these are normal structure variables. Okay, structure variables, and as per the example that I have taken, it gets 19 bytes of memory each. S1 will have 19 bytes of memory, S2 will have 19 bytes of memory. Whereas this S10, S is an array. It is an array of structures. Array of structures. How many elements have I declared here? 10 elements. So size will be number of elements into data type size. Data type size is 19 bytes, right? So totally 190 bytes is allotted for this array. For these variables, 19 bytes each will be allotted. So this is how we declare normal variables and array for a structure. So this completely is your data type name along with struct keyword, and the name that you have given is the data type name. These are variables. This is the array that we have declared. So we have seen how variables are declared, variables and arrays. Now let us see how memory is allotted for this. Now S1 is a normal variable and it will require normal structure variable and it will require 19 bytes of memory, right? Now again memory is allotted linearly just like arrays. Memory is allotted linearly, 19 bytes are allotted here, but here memory is not indexed from 0 to 19. Like in an array, we have memory indexed from 0 to 19. Here it won't be indexed like that. Whatever variables we have declared here, in the same order, memory is allotted in this example. Say for example, name of this entire 19 bytes is S1. Here what should be the first variable? Roll number. Next is an array of 5 elements, then sum, then float, average and character grade. So first 2 bytes will be for roll number. Next 10 bytes is for marks. In this marks, since this is an array, here we have index numbers, marks 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, because marks 5 is what I have declared there. Next 2 bytes is called as sum. Next 4 bytes is your average and next 1 byte is the grade. This is just 1 byte. Hope it is clear. Now S1 has all these elements. So S1 has roll number, 5 elements, 5 integer elements collectively called as marks, from marks 0 to marks 4. This is collectively one single array. Then I have an integer variable sum, float variable average, and a character variable grade. All these are components of S1. Now we have another variable S2. For this also same way the memory is allotted. First roll number, then marks, then sum, average and grade. Now here 19 bytes are allotted. Here 19 bytes are allotted. And then we have an array of 10 elements, right? So I have given the size 10 elements into 19 bytes will be allotted. So here we will have a continuous allocation of 190 bytes. In this 190 bytes, since it is an array, here it will start from 0 to 9 because I have an array of 10 elements. Index numbering starts from 0 to 9. S0 refers first student's details, S1 is second student, S9 will be the 10th student details. So I will have S0, this is S. In this I will have roll number, 5 elements for marks, then I'll have sum, then we have average and then grade, right? And all these is 0 index number. So this entire 19 bytes is called S0. Okay, it is S0. Now S1 is there, then S2. Similarly, we have until S9 because I have declared an array with 10 elements. Index numbering should start from 0 to 9, means I have S0, S1 up to S9. And each element will require 19 bytes. So totally 19 into 10, 190 bytes. Now for S0 we have roll number, marks, sum, average, grade. Similarly here also we have roll number, marks. So like this the values, the memory is allotted for each and every variable under every index number. So totally this has 190 bytes and all that 190 bytes is linear memory allocation only. So this is how memory is allotted when we declare variables or array for structure type. Now we have declared variables. Now let us see how to assign values to this. For initialization, here also we can do static and dynamic initialization. Static initialization is similar to how we gave values for arrays. Within flower brackets we can give, but let us not give that way because structures are not designed to be accessed that way. So we are going to give student details and we cannot give static data here for student details. The values are roll number and marks are taken from the user. Sum, average, grade, these things have to be calculated through the program. So let us not go into static initialization here. So we will look at only dynamic initialization. Now to do dynamic initialization, as you know, we are going to use scanf statements. We will ask the user to enter some values using printf. Printf is used for prompting the user to enter certain values. Whatever values are entered by the user, those are read as input using scanf statement. Now in scanf, how do I access this roll numbers? Now I have two variables in my program, right? S1 and S2. So if I am giving a roll number, there are two roll numbers. Forget about this for time being. So I have roll number in S1, roll number in S2 also. So members of a structure can be accessed using dot operator. Can be accessed using the structure variable and dot operator. So now here what all variables I have roll number, right? And then I have marks. In marks I have 5 elements. I have marks 0, marks 1, like this up to marks 5 I have. And then I have sum, average, right? All these variables are there. And there are many variables of this type. Everything belongs to certain variable, right? Structure variable. Now roll number belonging to S1. Marks I belonging to S1. Okay. So we should give S1 dot roll number, S1 dot marks, S1 dot sum, as S1 dot average. So all these refers to variables belonging to S1. Now if I have to access if I want to store roll number for the second student, I am going to take S2 dot roll number, S2 dot sum. So hope it is clear. These are members. This is the variable. So roll number belonging to S1. So that is the way to access members of a structure, and this will be given in the scanf statement. Say for example, if I am using scanf statement, so scanf, I am reading one value for roll number. I'll give %d ampersand S1 dot roll number. So there are many roll numbers in the memory. Where should I store it? Store it in roll number belonging to S1. Directly roll number we cannot access. We should access the members of a structure through structure variable only. Now to read marks, I will have to use for loop, which I have explained in the previous video. 1 equals to 0, 1 less than 5, 1 plus plus. And I will give the scanf statement, read one integer value, and it is stored in S1 dot marks I. Same as all your scanf statements that you have written so far, but before accessing every variable you have to use the variable name and the dot operator to denote to which variable it belongs. So this is how you access the members, and this is how we give values also to the members of a structure. Now we will see how to access values within an array. Now I have 10 students details, right? So suppose I have the array S10. I have given an example of 10 students, right? Array of structures. I have given S10. Now there are 10 students. First student is S0, S1, S2. So to store 10 students details, I will have to give for I equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Now here ask the user to enter student name, enter student roll number, because we have not given name in that variable structure definition. Enter student roll number. Now whatever the user enters, it is supposed to be stored in roll number belonging to the first student, which is S0. I is 0, right? So that is taken care by the variable I. Si dot roll number. Hope this is clear. Now for every student, whatever details you are collecting, you should also give the index variable along with S. So S0 has roll number, S0 marks, and then S0 sum, S0 average, like that you have to give. That is when I is 0. Next, when I becomes 1, so it is going to replace I with 1. Therefore S1 dot roll number, S1 dot marks 0, 1, 2, 3, S1 dot average. So it is going to access variables belonging to S1. So this is how we access the members of a normal structure and an array of structures. Now let us see this with the help of a program. I have created a file for structures. We will see how to declare normal variables and also an array. Program for calculating average and grade of a student. Now let us include header file stdio.h. Now I need to define structure. Struct student. What all variables I need? I'll give roll number. I'll take marks for 5 subjects. Then I will have sum. Next is float average. And then I'll have a character variable, which is grade. These are all the variables that I have declared under this user defined data type. Now user definition, data type definition is done. Now let me define the main function, int main. Now I'm going to define 2 students details, struct student S1, comma S2. First we will ask the user to enter roll number of student 1. Whatever the user enters, we'll read it through scanf statement, scanf %d ampersand. I told you roll number belongs to both S1 and S2. Where do I want to store this? I want to store it in the roll number belonging to S1. So ampersand S1 dot roll number. Here the roll number is stored. Now we will ask the user to enter 5 marks. Enter marks of 5 subjects. Observe this. Now the user is going to enter marks of 5 subjects, and this should be stored using a for loop. For I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. We give a scanf statement. Now as and when I am going to read the values, I will also add it, because I have a variable called sum for which I need to add all these values. If I have to access all these values later, again I need to use a for loop. So to avoid that, we will read the value and simultaneously we will also add it to the sum variable. %d, I am reading first value for marks I. After reading, I am adding it to sum. Sum is equal to sum plus marks I. You can also write sum plus equal to by using compound assignment operator. Now before starting the loop, make sure that s1 dot sum is assigned to 0. So here it is sum belonging to s1, so you should give s1 dot sum. Here also s1 dot sum plus marks. Now sum was 0, and for that 0 I am adding the first marks, then I becomes 1. When 1 is less than 5 is true, so it will read one more value, store it in marks 1, add it to sum which already has marks 0. Okay, so like that one by one we are going to read marks, and that marks we are adding it to existing sum. So when the compiler comes out of the for loop, s1 dot sum already has the values, sum of all the values given. Now we will have to find the average. So s1 dot average is equal to s1 dot sum divided by 5.0. You know why we are giving 5.0, to get the exact answer. Now I have the average also ready. Now I need to find the grade. Let me assume I am going to consider 3 grades only. If the average is greater than equal to 80, it's going to be A grade. If it is greater than equal to 60, it is B grade. And if it is otherwise, it is C grade. Okay. If s1 dot average is greater than equal to 80, then s1 dot grade equals to A. Else if s1 dot average greater than or equal to 60, s1 dot grade is equal to B. Else s1 dot grade equals to C. So 3 grades I have given. Now this is repeated, whatever procedure we have done. I have taken roll number of the first student, 5 marks of first student, and along with reading marks I have also calculated the sum. After calculating the sum, I have calculated average and the grade. Now the same thing is repeated for the second student as well. So I'll just copy paste all this and I'll make changes wherever required. So copy this and paste it here. Now this is for second student. Enter roll number of student 2. And here instead of s1 dot roll number, you need to take s2 dot roll number. Everywhere, wherever you have used s1, you just change it to s2. This is s2 dot sum, s2. Here also you need s1 dot marks I actually. Now it is s2 dot marks I, and s2 dot sum is equal to s2 dot marks I. Okay. Here also it is supposed to be s1 dot marks I, and here s1 dot marks I. Yes. So s2 dot marks s2, right. So here in average also I'll change it to s2, and s2 dot average greater than 80, s2 dot grade. So wherever s1 is there, I have replaced it with s2. Done. So now we have done all the calculations for s2 also, that is second student also. Now let us print the details. So before printing details, let me just give a formatted output. Student results. Now I will give the formatted output. I've given something like a heading. Now let me give roll number /t, sum of marks, okay, /t, average /t, and then grade /n. This is going to come like a heading. Now I'm going to display the values. %d is roll number /t, %d /t, again percentage 0.2f. For average I am going to display 2 digits after decimal point, then /t, %c, because the last one is grade. So what is that I need to display? S1 dot roll number. I am not going to display the marks in detail. I will just display the summary, which is S1 dot sum, then S1 dot average, then S1 dot grade. These are the display I am going to do. Now the same thing is done for second student also. So I'll just copy paste this, and this is S2 dot roll number, S2 dot sum, S2 dot average, and S2 dot grade. So that's it. We have taken details for the first student, have done necessary calculations. Then we have taken details of the second student. We have done necessary calculations for second student also. In the end, we are displaying the summary for both the students' details. Now let me execute this program. Okay, I is not given. Let me declare I. Now we will compile this. Enter roll number of student 1. I will give 15 is the roll number of student 1. Marks in 5 different subjects. I am going to enter 78, 82, 85, 89, 86. Now first student's details are taken, calculations are done. Now it is asking details for the second student. I will give roll number 16. Now marks for 5 different subjects. I am giving 87, 85, 89, 90 and 92. Okay, that's it. Now see, the details are displayed like a summary. So we have roll number, sum, average and grade. The data is not properly aligned. Roll number, after that sum is also displaying under that. So just little bit of changes would be required here in order to get the details in a proper way. Let me give one more /t here. I think that should fix it. I'll save this, execute this again. Now I'll give the details again, almost same details. I'll give 76, 75, 70, 72 and 80. Now second roll number is 16 and marks is 87, 85, 80, 82, 90. So now you can see roll number 15 and 16 displayed, sum, average and grade. It's all displayed in a proper manner. So if you still want spacing, you can include some more tab spaces and all that. So this is how we have written 2 variables of structure type. We have taken the data, we have done some calculations. Based on the calculations, we have seen what is the grade, and accordingly we have displayed the results in a form of summary. Now this is for 2 students. Suppose you have to do it for 5 students, then you can give 5 variables, but will you be able to write this printf, scanf statements, these calculations for all the 5 variables? No, that will be very time consuming and very menial work. So here what we do is, we will declare an array. I will give S10. So I am declaring an array of 10 elements. Every time I am not going to give 10 elements, therefore I have also given a variable called n. This will have how many elements, how many students' details we are going to enter. Now I will ask the user number of students, how many students' details I have to enter. So whatever the user enters, that is stored in the variable n. Now I am not having 2 students, right? I am going to repeat this. So this second student's details, whatever we have collected, that I am going to delete. Now since second student is not there, we have deleted all those details. Now this one student's detail, what we have, this only we are going to repeat it multiple times using a loop. So for I equals to 0, I less than n, n is given by the user. So if I give 5, then this loop is going to be repeated for 5 students, I plus plus. So this entire content is going to be present inside a loop. This complete calculation will be present inside a loop, and here I will not give enter roll number of student 1. Instead, I'll give percentage D here, and here I'll give I plus 1. I plus 1 because you know that for first student I is 0, right? So if I have to display, I cannot display enter roll number of student 0. So I value I am not incrementing. See, I plus plus if I give, then value of I gets incremented. Or if I plus 1, I is equal to I plus 1 if I give, value of I gets changed. Here I am not changing the value of I remains 0 only, but I am just, while displaying, I am displaying one value extra. So I am giving I plus 1, which is not going to increment value of I here, but it will just display one value extra. So I is 0, it's going to display 1. So enter roll number of student 1 I will get when I is 0. Next time when I becomes 1, this is going to display enter roll number of student 2. Now wherever I gave S1 dot roll number, everywhere I am going to give SI dot roll number. For first student it's going to be S0, for second student S1. So wherever this is there, we will write it as SI. Now see, for marks I need one more variable, because I is a variable right now I have used in the outer for loop, and that is going to keep track of number of students, right? S0 is student number 1, S1 is student number 2, like that. Now for every student there is a marks array. So for marks array it has to go from 0 to 5. So for this I will use a separate variable called j, which also we will declare here. So in the inner loop where I am reading values for marks of this array, I am going to take it as Sj. So Si dot marks j. Understand this clearly. Si refers to, when I is 0, it refers to S0, which is student number 1. Marks j will be from 0 to 4. So S0 marks S0 dot marks 0, S0 dot marks 1, similar to this whatever we have given here. When it is S0, I have marks 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so S0 dot marks 0, S0 dot marks 1, S0 dot marks 2. So this is I, which is not changing, but j is changing from 0 to 4. Next, when I becomes 1, again j will change from 0 to 4. Okay, so that is the purpose of giving one more variable here. Okay, Si dot marks j. Now Si dot sum is equal to, here Si should be given Si dot marks j. Next, S1 dot average, in this place also I will write Si dot average. Here again Si dot sum. Next, in all these places I will change it to Si. Done. So now you have to understand, when I is 0, this entire process is repeated with S0. So it's going to consider the marks that is present, roll number, marks, average, sum, grade, everything belonging to S0, means first student. Next, when I becomes 1, entire thing is repeated with S1. So roll number, marks 0, 1 to 5, 1 to 4, and then 0 to 4, and then sum, average, grade, everything for S1, means second student. Okay, so like this it's going to read. Now for student results, I want this heading once only, right? This star and this heading is to be displayed only once. After that, how many ever students details we have, that many printf statements are required. So we will write the for loop here, I less than n I plus plus, and only one printf statement is required. So this is not required, we'll delete it. Here again we will change this to Si dot roll number. si dot sum, si dot average, and si dot grade. Okay, fine. I think there are no errors. We'll compile it. Yeah, perfect. Now enter number of students. I will give 4 students. Roll number for student 1 I'll give 15. Marks for 5 subjects I'll give everything in 70s. 572. Right. Now roll number of student 2 I'll give 16. Now marks of 5 subjects is going to be in 80s. I will give 80, 85, 80, 82, 88. And for roll number 3 I'll give 17. And marks I'll give in all 90s. 91, 98. Now roll number for student 4 I will give 18, and here I'll give mixed values 79, 80, 92, 90. Now see, we have got the summary of 4 students details. So for every student I gave n as 4. So the same procedure, the one set of instructions is executed 4 times. And I am getting student 1, 2, 3, 4 because I have given I plus 1 in the printf statement. It has taken the details for 4 different students. For every student, sum, average and grade is calculated. And now while displaying again, I am using for loop. I have given only one printf statement, but that is executed 4 times. For every student, whatever details have been stored, those details have been extracted and displayed on as a summary. So now it is for 4 students. Now if I have to give 8 students, I have to execute the program again, and number of students I should give it as 8. Now see, this has reduced the length of the code a lot, and also I don't have to know how many students details I am going to give in the beginning. Number of variables declared, execution time, everything will be reduced because I have given details or calculations code required for one student only. This I have put it inside for loop and I am executing it n number of times. Maximum size I have given 10. I cannot execute this loop for more than 10 students. Maximum is I can give 10 only. Suppose you want more students, then here itself you have to give bigger size. N is going to take maximum up to 10 values. So that is how we declare a array of structures and give multiple student details. So this is structure is very important. This is the basis for object oriented programming. In object oriented programming we have classes, which is actually extension of structures. So try to understand the structures well. This program will be posted in Telegram channel. So make sure you join the Telegram channel. The link to the channel is mentioned in the description. You will get some useful notes also in that channel. So this is the programs for structure variables and also structure array. So once you go through this video, please make sure that you type this program and execute it, and similar questions also you will get it in the Telegram channel. I'll give some practice questions in Telegram channel. You can try to practice them, and the program's solutions for the same questions will also be posted shortly in our YouTube channel. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll learn about how to pass these arrays and structures as function parameters. So that will be posted in the next video. See you all in the next video. Bye bye.